Hello, you little YouTubers. This is your friend, Velma Hagar, with her coffee in her little bird cup. Here's looking at you, kiddo. Nothing like a fresh cup of coffee. You know, I have something to tell you this morning that I love. I have been waiting. I think I've got 10 or 11 days or something like that without doing a video. A long time for me. But I want to tell you something. You know what success is not? Success is not, or how you get successful. It's not about how smart you are. It's not about how beautiful you are. It's not about your personality. It's not about your family heritage or how you were born or where you were born. You know what it's about? It's about 2 words. I'm going to give you 2 words. And I'm telling you, after much thought and much consideration on this one subject, how come some people make it and others don't? You've seen it. We've all seen it. You go, why doesn't that person ever get anywhere? What is wrong with them? What's different about them? There's 2 words I'm going to give you. And if you need to write them down, write them down. But you need to know that 2 things that make you really, really successful. But before I tell you what they are, I want you to subscribe. Right now, subscribe. I'm still struggling to get to 1,000. And you know, I don't even care anymore. I'm like, you know what? What the hey? I'm 80 years old. I think I've got 900 and, I don't know, maybe 57 followers, subscribers, something like that. And I go, you know, not bad for an 80-year-old. So, you know, call me easy pleased. But I'll tell you what, subscribe if you haven't, will you? And don't forget about my books, Hidden Treasures in Secret Places. You're going to need to know those secret places as time goes on. Hidden treasures in dark places. They're everywhere. They're hidden. So you got to find them. And my book helps you find some of those treasures. A lot of those treasures. Pardon me. Now, on with my 2 words of great success. There's only 2 things that are going to make you successful. Diligence and perseverance. All right, first of all, I'm going to talk about the diligent. The person who just shows up for work every day, does his job, but doesn't really have any ambition. You come along and you might say something like, you know, could you check my tires at the gas station? He goes, no, that's not my job. I'm just here to pump gas. That person is not diligent. He may be showing up for work every day, and he may be doing his job, and he may be even doing his job pretty good. But he doesn't go the extra mile. He doesn't do the extra thing, the thing that's going to get him up the ladder. He just plugs along in life, never really goes anywhere, shows up late for work sometimes, doesn't pay much attention, you know, but he comes and, you know, that person is not diligent. You may think he goes to work every day, so he's a good worker. No, he's not. He is complacent, and he's not going to get anywhere. He's never going to go up the ladder. When it's time for a promotion, they're not even going to look at him. He's going to be left behind in the dust. That's the first word. The second word is perseverance. And I think this might be the trump of the other one, the perseverance. The person who doesn't give up. The person who keeps going in spite of all the odds. The person who somebody might say, God, they ought to quit, but they don't. They keep going. That person. You cannot win if you don't keep going. I'm going to tell you, quitters are the common thing today. People quit. Well, I tried that for a year and it didn't work. BS. It didn't work because you didn't stay long enough. If you stay long enough, you will make it. You will. And God will move you on if you're supposed to move on. Or he'll move you up and make a little change. He'll make a what's that word called? He'll make a little correction in your direction. Correction in your direction. I love it. If that need be, but you keep going forward. Don't quit. Oh, I get so mad when I see people quit. I go, they're quitters. Anybody that's a quitter is never going to make it. And this goes for marriages. Now, there are certain exceptions. If there is abuse, physical abuse in any area, you have to get out of there. That's different. But I'm talking about, well, you know what? We outgrew each other. We're just going to move on because we outgrew each other. Oh, BS. You don't outgrow each other. You just quit trying. You quit trying. If you keep going, every hump you get over, you are stronger. And I'm going to tell you this little story one more time because honestly, this is an area that I had as a strength. And this is the only area I ever made it, that I made it. This is the only reason I made it in business is because I had this particular gift of perseverance. And it came down through my alcoholic father, who I didn't think really had brought much to the table as far as genetics go. But the one thing he really brought was he held the record for being knocked down the most times in a professional boxing match and getting up again. And he still holds the record because now they stop the fights. Nobody will ever beat him. But that perseverance is what it takes to make it. And I'll never forget when I went to a banker to try to get a loan when I decided to do a little business I wanted to do. I was so bold, scared to death, but I still went forward. And I asked him for a loan and he said to me, "You're never going to make it in business. There's no way you can make it. You are going to dig a hole for yourself you'll never get out of." He said that to me. And I was already operating this little business. And I weaseled out of that bank on my belly at the time. But you know what? And I didn't get an attitude like, well, I'll show you. It isn't what I did. I just left there despondent, down, and thought, I've got to keep going. I can't stop. I got to keep it. And I kept going until one day I was the most popular shop on my high-end street. And one day I saw him and he said, "You're doing all right, aren't you?" And I go, "I really am." And I wanted to say, no thanks to you, because he gave me no encouragement, zero encouragement. But I want to tell you, I want to brag about this one area of myself. Yes, I am bragging a little. This was one area. I was weak in a lot of other areas, but this was one area I had strength in. I hung in there, and it took years. You could say to me, well, I did it for 5 years and it didn't work. 5 years wasn't long enough. Honestly, I was in that business for 40 years. And I would probably tell you, until I'd been in it for 20 years, I made a living. I just kept doing it. I made a living. But you know what? One day, at probably the 20th year, it exploded. It just exploded. Perseverance and diligence. I got up, I dressed up, and I showed up every day. And I gave it my best when I was there. One little customer at a time, I built up that business until it was the most popular shop on El Paseo, the 5th Avenue of the desert. And I did it with no working capital. I did it with no experience. I did it with no husband and 3 kids. And you know what? Perseverance and diligence. There was 2 things. I've been wanting to put this video out because somebody, more than one person, many of you need to hear this. Your marriage is on the rocks. Hang in there. and go the extra mile. Do something different. Don't keep doing the same thing over and over and over, thinking things are going to be different. Find the ways. Be creative. Think of something new. Take classes. Be diligent. Be faithful. I just can't push this enough. You know, if this were my last video, I would be proud of it. You never know when it's my last. I'm 80 years old. Look at me, weepy. Look at me. This ain't gonna be my last video. I know one thing, God isn't done with me yet. And not only that, if you're sweating, look at me, look at my hair wet. Do you know that when you sweat, you're detoxing? Be grateful if you're a sweater. Get out in that sun and sweat and detox. All right? I talked for over 10 minutes, but this was an important subject. Got it? All right. Diligence and perseverance. Don't forget that, okay? All right. Your bubby loves you. I still want to call you. On TikTok, I have those 70,000 subscribers, followers. 70,000. And they call me their bubby. I go out in the town and they go, oh, hi, Bubby. I go, well, when they call me Bubby, I know that they must have seen me on TikTok. I love TikTok, by the way. They do not censor you on TikTok. And those kids, those young people need me on there. Why would we run from a place when we've got an audience that needs somebody to tell them something good? All right, you guys. Well, I'm a yapper this morning. Okay, my friends, until next time, this is your friend Velma Hagar, and she's saying buy her book, subscribe, and she's bidding you a blessed day. Bye.